What if mainstream psychiatry had always taken the approach of prescribing as few drugs as possible? What if deprescribing had always been the philosophy of biological psychiatry? Biological psychiatry is inherently and deeply flawed, both intellectually and morally. Neuroleptic drugs, aka antipsychotic drugs, have been around for a number of decades now. Same goes for mood stabilizers, and also antidepressants and anti-anxiety drugs, anxiolytic drugs. Mainstream psychiatry has had many chances to listen to psychiatrist Thomas Szasz. Books like Anatomy of an Epidemic attempted to take more of a analytical approach with respect to analyzing specific studies, and madinamerica.com does this also. This is extremely admirable. For whatever reason, psychiatrist Thomas Szasz just intuitively understood and knew many of the key points that are communicated in Anatomy of an Epidemic, at least as I understand it. The psychiatric survivor movement is arguably only growing for a number of reasons. Some have stated that mainstream psychiatry is moving towards a deprescribing model. I hope that is correct, although I am not super optimistic that that is the case. I think that as more psychiatric survivors organize, it's possible that the mainstream psychiatric paradigm is going to be successfully exposed for what it is intellectually and morally. Exposed in the sense that many individuals will actually come to understand how harmful coercive psychiatry and non-consensual psychiatry are, and the unintended consequences of both non-consensual and consensual psychiatric druggings that are happening on a mass scale. So none of this is medical advice. The fact of the matter is, with very little exception, all of the so-called mental illnesses, mental disorders, have no objective ways of detecting them through pathophysiological nor histopathological methods, which are generally how objective medical diseases and disorders are identified and diagnosed. That is my understanding. So contact me on X, Twitter, or social media if you want me to help communicate individually how we could maybe sue psychiatrists, unethical psychiatrists, and unethical hospitals, and so on and so forth. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. There are grassroots efforts within the psychiatric survivor community to use legal means to reduce the amount of psychiatric human rights abuses that are occurring. If psychiatrists had chosen to not rely on coercion a significant percentage of the time, or psychiatric lies or psychiatric propaganda, and if mainstream psychiatry had attempted to take more of a deprescribing paradigm from the very beginning, decades ago, we would arguably living in a very different society right now. So I hope you choose to expose psychiatrists that are unethical, and I hope you learn to identify psychiatric lies and psychiatric propaganda. Limitless peace.